Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the CrossFit Games Update Show. I'm Sean Woodland with Pat Sherwood. Tommy Marquez will be along momentarily. 15.1 and 15.18 are done. My score got validated. I know Pat's score got validated.
No problem.
Tommy's score, that was all good too, but that certainly wasn't the case for a few people out there. As you all are well aware, there was some you call it sandbagging going on?
I like that word, it fits.
Sandbagging in a couple of cases. Basically, some people saw an opportunity to help their affiliate score by taking it easy on 15.1 and then putting up a monster number on 15.1a. So the game's leadership saw this, decided that that goes against the spirit of the competition, and those scores were invalidated.
Invalid. And here's the deal. It needs to be said that the overwhelming majority of CrossFit affiliates did this perfectly, completely in the spirit of the competition. Good job. And we're also not talking about some people that maybe came over from another community, already had a monster clean and jerk, and for them, a legitimate effort on 15.1 was a round or two. Good to go. See you for the rest of the Open. But then there were some people that just literally did like a rep or two of toes to bar, waited around so they could do the clean and jerk. That's not going to fly. That is 100% lame. Yeah. I've never used that word in the show before, but it's the only one that fits, so no good.
Well, we will start on the men's side of the competition, and sandbagging didn't help you if you wanted to get into the top 10 in the world. Nick Urankar sits atop the leaderboard after the first week of the Open. His best score was 8th in 15.1a, and then he was 43rd in 15.1. In fact, the best score after that among any man in the top 10 was Matt Fraser, who was 37th. In 15.1. We'll get to your Urankar in a second, but when you look at spots 2 through 6, I mean, that's pretty much your games leaderboard from 2014, right?
Oh, yeah,
which says to me that that's a pretty good test of fitness.
You are judged by the company that you keep,
yes.
Right? So we had 5 people on both the top 10 from the games last year and top 10 after week 1 of the Open, and that is Froning, Fraser, Kalipa, Ben Smith, and Scott Panchuk. So people you want to be surrounded, by an associate with. Now the question becomes, I think those 5 will continue along just fine. Can everyone else in the top 10 hold on? Thus far, Nick Urankar is doing everything he can to set himself up really well.
Yeah, and Urankar hasn't been back to the games since 2011. And with these kind of numbers, you think maybe this is the year, but why haven't we seen him in Carson since 2011?
It's the funny thing about Nick. So, here on the show and in the office, we've been chatting about this guy for years. Nick, know that we talk about you every year. You're one of the Central East beasts, but he's had to compete with some people that were just a little bit fitter each year and prevented him. You may have heard some of these names. Rich Froning, Scott Panchuk, Will Morad, Graham Holmberg, Marcus Hendren, and Dan Bailey was there for a whole number of years. So that's some stiff competition, but Nick looks better than ever this year, and with Froning gone, Dan Bailey wasn't there last year, won't be there this year, it could be a great year for Urankar.
Yeah, a lot of familiar names in the top 10 after week 1, but there was one name that you might not recognize, but if you read Tommy Marquez's 15 to Watch in 2015 article, you knew to keep your eye on Alex Anderson. Tommy is here to tell us why Alex's appearance in the top 10 isn't a surprise, especially when you look at the family he comes from.
Thanks, Sean. Alex is proving precisely why I picked him as one of my 15 athletes to watch in 2015. Despite his success in the Open this far, he may not even be the fittest guy in his family. Starting back in 2011, Alex's father, Steve Anderson, was the Masters champ in the 55 to 59 division. Jumped to 2013, and Alex's older brother, Z.A. Anderson, became a rookie sensation after finishing 10th at the Games in Carson. This year, Alex is 7th worldwide in the Open after week number 1, but close behind him is his younger brother, Jacob Anderson, who's 22nd worldwide and is one of my picks as an emerging contender in the Southeast Division. Now, looking at his younger brother, Sam Anderson, he's a 19-year-old student at University of Georgia, and he's got a posted snatch of 280 pounds, a 335-pound clean and jerk, and he's an 85-kilo lifter looking to make some waves in the USA weightlifting scene. Sean, this is one fit family top to bottom, and I bet it made for some pretty exciting backyard football games growing up.
Thanks, Tommy. The Andersons are not the only fit family out there right now. You have Lauren and Garrett Fisher, both former Games athletes. Ben Smith has a brother who's competing. That's downright scary. The Panchuk brothers, if you follow them on Instagram, you know what they're doing. Those are some guys who just look like a bunch of Spartans when they're walking around. And then Michelle Latondra, her twin sister Erica, the two of them always competitive in the Canada East region. some of the things that are happening on the men's side of the individual competition are affecting what's going on in the team competition. And at the top of the men's leaderboard, you have Rich Froning and Jason Khalipa, the two of them saying that they are going team. So some interesting things on social media this past weekend. A picture on Facebook of Rich Froning's team came out. That prompted Tommy Hackenbrook to go to Instagram, and he tagged both Rich and Jason Khalipa, and he wrote, I need your address to send these best of luck in 2015 hacks pack. Now that prompted speculation. Now maybe Tommy Hackenbrook is getting back into the team competition.
I love everything that's going on right there, and I can only hope that the banter continues on social media for some of these potential top teams. But if any leaderboard has the potential to just go in a bunch of different directions, it's the team leaderboard, and here's why. At this stage in the game, you have a lot of incredible athletes who will go individual, contributing towards their team's score that could eventually get pulled out, and I'm talking Lauren Fisher contributing to Invictus, Margot Alvarez for Get Lifted, Emily Bridgers, Terminus, Annie Thorsdottir, Reykjavik, Matt Fraser, Danny Horan for Champlain Valley. So point being, that top 10, 20 teams leaderboard, we still have a lot of momentum is going to happen.
And you mentioned Emily Bridgers, and we're going to see her in action this Thursday when she takes on Michelle Letendre at the live announcement of 15.2 in Austin, Texas. And as always, you can watch it live on games.crossfit.com starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And be sure to stick around after the event is over, because we'll have the cool down show where both Emily Bridgers and Michelle Letendre will join Dave Castro and Rory McKernan. They'll take your questions via social media, and there also might be a special guest stopping by. A surprise big name athlete might be joining them as well. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about the women's side of things on 15.1 and 15.1A. For Tommy Marquez and Pat Sherwood, I'm Sean Woodland, and we're going to leave you guys with a look at some of the best moments on social media from the community at large in week 1 of the Open.